10 years ago, Mwiza Muntali would never have dreamed of seeing crowds like this for an African film festival in Washington. The outreach director of Trans-Africa, which helps organise the event in Washington, D.C., he says it's become more and more popular in the decade it's been running.
You can see that there's an interest. People are waiting to see the festival. Also, when we're picking the films, 10 years ago, there were fewer selections from the continent. Now there's so many.
Today's screening, part of the festival's 10th edition, is particularly packed thanks to a special appearance from Nigerian author Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie, who's just won the National Book Critics Circle Award for her new novel, Americana. She held 2 question and answer sessions to packed theatres and signed books in the lobby for over 2 hours.
Happy Independence.
But it's this film, based on her previous novel, Half of a Yellow Sun, that's drawn the crowds today, even though its subject, the Biafran War of the late 1960s in Nigeria, is generally little known in America. Hard on the heels of the so-called diversity Oscars this year, the sheer number of people attending this screening of Half of a Yellow Sun reflects the growing popularity of African films and films about the African experience here in the US.
Sometimes only a particular viewpoint about African films, about Africa is put out there. So it's good to also be able to show stories being told by Africans about what goes on in Africa.
It's a voice, a collective voice, and collective stories that are lesser told, and perspectives that are so unique, not only because they are of Africa, but certainly of the experiences of Africans.
I think there's a lot of misconceptions about Africa, and I feel like the more these films are being shown, the more books are written, the more people get to understand about Africa and its culture.
The director of the AFI Cinema, which hosts the event, agrees that things are changing in the US, and he hopes those recent Academy Awards, which saw several Africans and African Americans honoured, is the shape of things to come.
Of course, we'd like to see continuity year to year, and let's hope that we see that, where Steve McQueen's next movie comes along soon, and Lupita Nyong'o is cast in something else interesting very soon as well. Chiwetel Ejiofor was pretty busy beforehand, and I think he's just going to be even busier now.
Chimamanda agrees, but says we shouldn't be so surprised at such success.
I think maybe the question that I'm interested in is, why has it taken this long? Right, there's nothing particular. I mean, African stories are as human as stories from anywhere else. But my hope is that it's not a fleeting thing, because that's the worry about these sorts of things. It has to become norm.
And it seems slowly but surely films like these are becoming the norm. From inspiring and courageous leaders to tragic tales of love and loss, it seems American audiences are finding much that inspires and intrigues them about African stories on the silver screen. Lorna Shaddick, Washington.
Know more. ENCA.com